SummerSlam had really big moments. Randy Orton returned, Kevin Owens returned, Chelsea Green and Chad Gable won singles gold, and Brock Lesnar passed the torch to Obafemi. But there's one question that fans are asking heading out of SummerSlam, and that's why did Roman Reigns take a shot at Jon Moxley? We'll talk about it on this episode of the Crimson Mask Show. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins had to have what I would believe is probably Roman Reigns' either best or second best match. And the only reason it will be second is because of the WrestleMania 40 match where you had all the legends and all that shit, the storyline around that match. But in terms of the match itself, this quite possibly could have been Roman Reigns' best match. Him and Seth Rollins tore the house down, had me on my feet, and yes, I understand the technical aspects of the match. I know that you're not going to get some Matt Classic from Roman Reigns. Seth, you might get a Matt Classic from him. You're not going to get one from Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit. The in-ring storytelling for the match was fucking peak. It was top notch. That's what I'm talking about here when I say it could have been one of Roman Reigns' best matches of all time. I'm not expecting Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to be Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. After the match, Roman Reigns had a ringside interview where Roman said something along the lines of, "It's always been me and Seth. Dean Ambrose was a wild hair. Other people were scared to stick around and they ran away. Me and Seth Rollins stayed and we built this place. They built this place around us. That's just me, spitballing." And like he said some shit like that. Now, here's the issue. The fans online are outraged because they feel like Roman Reigns disrespected Jon Moxley. Now, as far as I know, and I don't know if shit changed over the years or what, I don't think it did. As far as I know, Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, I think even Seth Rollins, but more so Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley, those guys were pretty fucking close. Those guys are pretty fucking close. So I don't think that Roman Reigns would work shoot Jon Moxley and say some shit about him like to be disrespectful. I definitely think Roman was in kayfabe. He was in character when he said all that shit that he said. It doesn't even necessarily mean that the whole statement was made towards Jon Moxley. Him saying that when others ran away, he could have been talking about Daniel Bryan. He could have been talking about Edge. There's a ton of people that Roman Reigns could have been talking about when he referenced people getting scared and running away. Nobody other than Roman and Seth probably would know better, and Renee Paquette, of course. Nobody would know better than those people why Jon Moxley left WWE other than those people. Like, they have to know. So I imagine something like that isn't gonna, it shouldn't be it's probably not a big deal with the performers. So why shouldn't it be, it shouldn't be a big deal with the fans. But you know how it is, tribalism. So of course the AEW side of the coin, they're gonna say, Roman, you non-wrestling bag of shit. How dare you say that about Jon Moxley? And then the WWE is gonna say, yeah, Jon Moxley's a coward, he's scared. None of that shit is the case. They're not, these two companies, these wrestlers for these companies, they aren't out here being tribalistic and shit like that. And they probably think the shit is comical that fans are so into it. So, no, I don't think this is a big thing. And in fact, if you need one piece of evidence from that, is they paid homage to Jon Moxley throughout the entire fucking match. Throughout the entire match. They did the rope reflect or whatever the fuck you call it, the ricochet, whatever you call it, when Jon Moxley like did the little bounce off of the rope clothesline. Seth attempted a paradigm shift and it got reversed. Roman actually hit a paradigm shift. The mask that Seth brought to the ring, that represented Jon Moxley's spot in the match. That's why it was placed where it was placed. No, Jon Moxley obviously couldn't be there. He's under contract with AEW, so he can't just appear to put his fist out there and complete the Shield. Like, so the mask was a stand-in for Jon Moxley. I'm sure Roman knew that. I'm sure Seth knew that. And if Jon Moxley had time to pay attention to it or watch it, I'm sure he knew that. I don't think anybody took any disrespect from Roman Reigns' promo after the match outside of the fucking fans. They're the only people that would feel disrespected by it. Like they said, Dean Ambrose is a wild hair, and you know Seth and Roman. That's the truth. That's the truth. Like if Jon Moxley wanted to come on AEW Dynamite this week and say, while other people are out putting their work into big corporate structures, I'm the one who struck out to take a risk, and now I'm building a company around my sweat, blood, and tears. If he wanted to go out and say that, he wouldn't be wrong. Yes, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, for years and years and years, they built that company around those two guys. AEW, in the beginning days, for the most part, were building their company around Jon Moxley. What people need to not lose sight of. Let's not lose sight of this. Michael Cole touched on it, but like they can only do so much as WWE to say, you know, certain things about wrestlers that are in other companies. But he pretty much said it. Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, Seth Rollins, literally, those three members of that stable are responsible for this current generation of professional wrestling. I'm not talking about WWE, I'm not talking about AEW. Those three guys are responsible for this era of professional wrestling. And if you want to say that the elite are probably the next closest thing to being responsible for this era of professional wrestling. So you have the Shield and the elite. Take the last 10, 15, whatever years, and you need to write the story about this era of professional wrestling. Those are the entities that you want to talk about. Roman, Seth, Dean Ambrose, and the elite. So I'm talking about Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and then you could throw Cody Rhodes in there too. Because between all those guys, they basically sustained WWE, built an entire different company, and both companies, whether people want to be tribalistic or not, both companies are thriving and doing well. Fans can say they don't like the booking over here, they don't like the booking over there. You got to take time to respect the men that are responsible for this era of professional wrestling, unless you don't like this era. So again, no. I think Jon Moxley, Roman, all those guys, I think they're all cool. I think that they paid homage to John in the match, and I think Romo cut a promo in character saying, you know, people ran, and I don't even think that was all about Jon Moxley. You know, Dean Ambrose was a wild hair. Jon Moxley and Dean Ambrose, two different characters. Two different characters. I challenge you to find me one person that wasn't happy to see Kevin Owens. One person that wasn't happy to see Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. Because I'm telling you right now, when Kevin Owens' music hit, that shit saved SummerSlam. That shit saved SummerSlam. I'll be completely honest, and I'll talk about it later. Night one was fucking underwhelming. Kevin Owens returning just kind of lifted the whole mood on SummerSlam as an event. I had no clue. I could not have predicted that not only did he return or was he going to return, but he won the number one contenders match. I couldn't have predicted it. I honestly thought going in, I thought it was going to be a singles match. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. I thought Finn was going to pick up the win there, but then Nick Aldis added Gunther to the match, and at that point I was like, oh my god, SummerSlam is getting worse and worse and worse. But then it's almost like the heavens opened up. The heavens opened up. Kevin Owens just randomly appeared I had no clue. Usually, shit like this is easy to figure out. And maybe, a lot of fans knew it was going to happen. Maybe they seen something on the dirt sheets. I seen no clue. And the way Sami Zayn sold it, it's almost as if nobody told him that his best friend was returning. And maybe they didn't tell him. I imagine they would have because they have to, rehearse the match and all that. But I think everything about that was great. I think everything about it was great. I do wonder how Kevin Owens fits into the title picture going forward. Is he going to beat CM Punk? I don't see it. I actually see Sami Zayn screwing Kevin Owens over, which means that we're going to get a feud that we were told like years ago that was never going to happen again and it was the last time. And that should go to show you. When WWE said this is the last time they'll ever face off, never believe it. Just like they're saying that about Roman and Seth, don't believe it. That whole we're never going to face off again shit is out of the picture because these two guys, Sammy and Kevin, they said they weren't going to face off again years ago, and they faced off like 3 different times since then. So I don't want to hear that shit. But super happy Kevin Owens is back. I think Sammy taking the pin was the right thing to do. Gunther could have afforded to take the pin because God knows that the guy barely loses. Finn absolutely could not take the pin. And I feel so bad for Finn Balor, man, because I don't know what this does for their plans with him. Because I was under the impression that we're going to get a Finn push, and maybe we still will get some form of a Finn Balor push. But Kevin Owens' turning just muddies the waters even more. It muddies the waters even more. And now he's stepping in and he's going to get a shot right at CM Punk. So we'll see how that goes. But today's not the day to wonder about the storyline ramifications or the booking ramifications. Let's just all just appreciate Kevin Owens returning from a significant injury and earning the number one contenders match. So I think we could all just take a little bit of time out and just put all the other shit aside and just appreciate that. So I don't think it can be ignored. The disparity between night one and night two of SummerSlam is the size of the fucking Grand Canyon. It's the size of the Grand Canyon. After night one, I felt I felt night one was pretty damn bad. Like I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest. And we can go through it if you want to. Um didn't like I felt like CM Punk probably wrestled as far as like ability, CM Punk wrestled one of the worst matches I've ever seen him wrestle. That moonsault was one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen. Now, don't get me wrong, guys don't have to be perfect. CM Punk, he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And I've seen him botch before. That was pretty fucking bad. The in-ring storytelling for the match, that was fine. Um, Randy Orton interfering in the match. And I love Randy Orton, man. Like, Randy Orton is another one of my favorites of all time. I love Randy Orton, but fuck if that didn't feel like the wrong place for that to happen. I felt like the Obafemi Brock Lesnar match probably should have went on first, and they should have ended with the Cody Rhodes CM Punk match because, in my opinion, Randy Orton returning is probably a bigger moment than Obafemi getting the torch passed to him by Brock Lesnar. Like that's just how I see it, and I know a lot of people probably don't see it like that. Like, why would they put a Hell on the Cell match first? Yeah, I get it, but in terms of like impact on me, yeah, that Hell in the Cell match, it was cool. Do not feel like it was a main event match. Like, don't feel like it needed to be the last match on night one. So, and I don't feel like it had the impact on the fans that they thought it was gonna have. I thought they probably thought that it was gonna send fans home talking, and it didn't. Night two, shot out of a fucking rocket. Kevin Owens returning, and then we had a couple of like dark spots on night two. I'm not gonna lie to you. Fucking Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio, like I might have to save that for another video. But I told my boy Petey Stunt, the fans are going to start turning on Danhausen soon. Not the kids. The kids are still like Danhausen. The fans are going to start turning on Danhausen soon because it's a little too forced. The comedic act isn't evolving. It's staying the same. That's the difference between R-Truth and Danhausen. R-Truth have his silly gimmick and it just evolve like every week there's like a new joke and they're always funny. How many times is Danhausen gonna bring out the little people? The little people get destroyed. Danhausen snaps, a spark flies up. We're doing the same shit over and over again. I'm all for Danhausen being as over as he is, but they need to get a little bit creative with what he's doing. What happened to the fucking Frankenstein monster he was supposed to be making? I heard it was supposed to be Baron Corbin. Like, okay, so they just is just scrap now. Like, is he still electrocuting people? Like, so they're gonna have to start evolving his gimmick, or the fans are gonna start turning on it. But between Kevin Owens and between the main event, the Shield tribute, I feel like those things saved the night. I feel like Chelsea Green has a huge impact on the fact of why I think night two was so much better than night one. Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental title, I like that. Like, there's so much to like about night two, and they kind of just made night one a shrug of the shoulders, which I think is intentional. And this is the last thing I'm going to touch on about Clown Corner. SummerSlam, it was a complete money grab. It was much more of a cash grab than this recent WrestleMania. Because honestly, the two nights put together, I don't feel like there was 6 hours worth of content. Even though each show was about 3 hours, I do feel like you could have probably had a 4 hour show that was only one day and have that be SummerSlam. I don't think it was two night worthy. There's a lot of shit involved in it that didn't need to be there that could have been done on a pre-show. You could have had the Human Monies on the pole match done during the pre-show. You could have had, like, honestly, you could have had the 6-man tag with the Bloodline and Solo on them. You could have had that on the pre-show. Like, I feel like they only spread this out for 2 nights so they can make as much money as possible. And the fans are starting to see through that shit. So SummerSlam should have just been one night. It should have been a fucking spectacle. It should have been trimmed down. But then again, if it's something that they're doing that'll put more money in the performers' pockets, then I'm all for it. But technically, I do feel like it could have been one night. It wasn't 2 night worth of matches. So that's where I'm at on it. All right, guys, that's it. Another one is in the books. What did you guys think about this year's SummerSlam? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It'll help us out with the algorithm. You know the name. It's MFGDs. You know the game. It's the Crimson Mask Show. I'll check you out next time.